Peace. The quick think fast, man. Think fast for the road, man. I'm on my way to Cali, up in Arizona and Phoenix right now. As a matter of fact, I want to speak a little bit on how I watch my ego basically act like a big ass baby. Kicking and screaming on the way out, like, you know what I'm saying, as far as like, you know, the ego doesn't like change, you know what I'm saying? Like it wants to remain with things being the same. It doesn't want a dream chase. It want to go to the same job tomorrow. It wants stability, you know. But I remember like my first days finding out that I was gonna move to Cali, you know, how it was strictly off a dream because somebody else is helping and supporting in the situation, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, going into it blindly, that ego gets scared, you know what I'm saying? That's where that ego come in like, oh, wait, hold on. I don't physically see the money right now. Oh, wait, how we gonna do this? What, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes it'll pop out, you know what I'm saying? No matter how much meditation you have, because that's what I learned through this experience is that even with meditation and everything, like as it started getting closer for me to leave, the nervousness of my ego started coming out. Because one of the first things I really noticed was the coffee binge that I end up, you know, where I went from channeling Papa Legba to, how could I say, you know how and all of us go through it on the growth where it's really your ego, but you try to make an excuse, but then you come back and realize like, all right, nah, it's my ego. But like, well, you know, I was channeling Papa Legba and I was, you know, I drank coffees and smoked the cigars, you know, be in the house with the king, really channeling energy. But then here it comes where it's like, 7 days down the line, I'm still drinking coffee daily. And I'm like, all right, Kari, you're no longer channeling. You know what I'm saying? This is your ego being scared of the move. Because that's another thing. The ego seeks physical desires and pleasures. So because I was becoming, you know, the ego was becoming nervous of the move. Because the spirit was intact. The spirit, like, I'm already in California. Spirit waiting in Moreno right now. You know what I'm saying? But the ego, you know, when change or something, you know, spooks it, it looks for outside things to please it. So I started getting on like a low-key coffee, you know, binge because my ego was looking for some type of satisfaction, like some type of, you know, basically almost pulling in the addictive nature too, you know what I'm saying? And you start to realize where these addictive natures and all this dwell from is from your ego being scared and uncomfortable about something. And matter of fact, and also sometimes, like say for instance, when I was getting the coffee, after the third night of realizing like, all right, I'm no longer channeling, I kind of stayed with it, like I say, realizing, but kind of using it as, all right, I'm gonna just drink coffee and, you know, kind of made a somewhat excuse for myself and was, you know, just drinking it. And I thought, I'm like, you know, all right, Kari, the ego had enough time playing, you know what I'm saying? Because too, I always try to keep a peace of mind too. So I'm watchful and knowing that that's my ego drinking the coffee, but I'm also like, but damn, this was kind of gonna keep my ego from, you know, from making my spirit, you know what I'm saying? Because that's the thing, is where your spirit, you know what I'm saying, becomes in control of your ego. But at some point, you know, like I say, like whereas old situations or anything that brings your ego out, you know what I'm saying? Where, like I say, with a move and the circumstances where it's like, oh shit, it's like, and then your ego gets spooked and then your ego comes out. Because the spirit already knows that you can manifest and dream how you want, you know what I'm saying? And do whatever it is to get, you know, what you want to, you know, get what you want to get done, achieve, you know what I'm saying? So it's more about your ego being scared and not really your spirit, you know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, my brethren, just because he's, you know, this is a think fast, you know.
How y'all doing? Blessings, prosperity, peace to everybody.
You know what I'm saying? It's my brethren Josh who I'm making the trip with. And like I said, matter of fact, also like when I remember talking to my mom, like, you know, the spirit ready and everything, but then when I'm talking to my mom back to, like I say, when you bring the ego to those old places, and my ego like, oh, and I started, which is a good thing because it's part spirit too, where I was emotionally, you know, I let loose, like I had to cry, you know. And then once I got ready to leave, I had a moment where I was simultaneously in the past, present, and future, where that made me cry too, because I visualized the past when my dad was alive and having these dreams, looking at the present moment of actually moving and looking at the future of where he's gonna be, you know, spiritually with me, you know, even though he's not physically here, and it just overwhelmed me, you know what I'm saying? That's another thing, is all right to cry, because that's where you get that throat chakra start hurting. That's that lump in the throat, that's a blockage of expression. That's where the lump comes from. But just a just a little video. Like I said, I wanted to run it and let everybody know too, like, well, on the experience, we're human. Even with the spiritual and knowing your God, you know what I'm saying? It's a human experience, and you go through these type of things with moves and stuff like that. So I just wanted to share my experience with y'all. But like I said, it's a think fast, so I'm gonna try to keep it fast, 5 minutes. So peace and blessings, y'all. Stay grateful for everything, man, and stay in the moment. Peace.